My friend, hear me today. Nothing keeps you stuck longer than holding on to what God already shut down. You can pray for clarity, cry for breakthrough, and beg for direction. But as long as you keep revisiting what heaven has already ended, you will live trapped in cycles. You were meant to conquer. So I want your spirit to hear this with authority and urgency. God said, stop entertaining what I ended. Stop reopening what I closed. Stop feeding what I starved. Stop reviving what I buried. Stop returning to what I rescued you from. Your future cannot begin until you release the past you keep entertaining. Some of you woke up this morning exhausted, not because of the weight you're carrying today, but because of the weight you refused to put down yesterday. You are tired because you keep engaging with things God has already removed from your destiny. You're drained because you keep revisiting conversations, memories, people, and environments that heaven canceled. You are emotionally frustrated because you keep pouring into situations that no longer carry divine purpose. And this message is heaven's intervention. You cannot heal while you still entertain what broke you. You cannot grow while nurturing what stunted you. You cannot move forward while feeding what keeps pulling you backward. There is a reason God ended it. There is a reason the connection faded. There is a reason the opportunity dried up. There is a reason the atmosphere became uncomfortable. There is a reason you felt a nudge in your spirit to walk away. And whenever God ends something, it is because that thing has expired for your future. But the danger is this: just because something has expired doesn't mean it disappears. Sometimes it lingers. Sometimes it invites you back. Sometimes it feels familiar. And if you're not careful, you will entertain expired things out of habit rather than purpose. This morning, your spirit needs truth more than comfort. Many people stay stuck because they confuse history with destiny. Just because something was part of your past doesn't mean it belongs in your future. The enemy doesn't always attack you with new temptations. Sometimes he uses old attachments. He uses old wounds, old patterns, old relationships, old insecurities, old distractions, old cycles that you've outgrown spiritually but still entertain emotionally. Hear me clearly. Some of the things you're fighting today are not demonic attacks. They are consequences of refusing to close the door God already shut. And God is telling you, stop keeping alive what I ended. Stop defending what I removed. Stop entertaining what I am trying to deliver you from. Let me speak to the relationship that keeps looping in your mind. The one that hurt you, drained you, confused you, or diminished you. You know it ended for a reason. But loneliness tempts you to reconsider. You miss the memories, not the reality. You miss the comfort, not the calling. You miss who you were with them, not who you're becoming without them. Your heart must stop negotiating with your destiny. Let me speak to the habits you keep returning to, the ones you promised yourself you would stop. The habits that steal your discipline, your time, your growth, your focus. God has been convicting your spirit because those habits can coexist with where He is taking you. And every time you revisit them, you delay the version of you God is trying to reveal. Let me speak to the environments. God pulled you out of the ones that drained your joy, polluted your spirit, or clouded your clarity. You keep checking in, scrolling through, going back, revisiting conversations, reliving emotional ties. But every time you do, your peace decreases, your focus weakens, and your spirit becomes restless. That's because your spirit knows what your emotions are, refusing to accept you don't belong there anymore. Let me speak to the opportunities that dried up. God removed them because they were beneath your calling. He ended them because they were not connected to your destiny. But your mind keeps rehearsing what you lost instead of embracing what is coming. Your emotions keep replaying the disappointment instead of celebrating the protection. You keep dwelling on a door that closed while heaven is preparing a door that fits your future. You must stop entertaining what God ended. And God ends things for different reasons: protection, elevation, separation, purification, redirection, or preservation. But regardless of the reason, whenever God ends something, it is always for your good, always for your growth, always for your protection, and always for your purpose. Some things ended because they were draining you more than developing you. Some things ended because they were distracting you more than directing you. Some things ended because they fed your insecurity instead of your identity. Some things ended because you prayed for growth, and those things could not grow with you. You cannot become who you were created to be while trying to keep everyone and everything that entered your life in a previous season. Every new season requires new boundaries. Every elevation demands separation. Every destiny requires clarity. And sometimes clarity comes in the form of divine endings. But too often, we sabotage our breakthrough because we keep reopening doors God locked. You pray for peace, but you keep entertaining chaos. You pray for purpose, but you keep entertaining distractions. You pray for clarity, but you entertain confusion. You pray for growth, but you entertain relationships that keep you small. Let me say this with love and authority. You cannot rebuke what you continue to entertain. You cannot cast out what you coddle. You cannot escape what you keep inviting. And you cannot heal from what you keep revisiting. Some of you are frustrated because you don't feel the presence of God like you used to. But it's not because he left you. It's because you keep walking back into environments where he told you not to go. God's presence doesn't dwell in confusion. God's strength doesn't flow where there is disobedience. God's peace doesn't settle in places he commanded you to exit. When you keep entertaining what God ended, you give your energy to the very thing he is trying to free you from. Some of you are living in cycles because you keep trying to make something work that heaven shut down. The danger of disobedience is not immediate destruction, it's prolonged stagnation. You will never know what God could have done if you keep holding on to what he told you to release. Some of you keep praying for a sign, but God has already given you signs, you're just ignoring them. The inner discomfort, the spiritual restlessness, the loss of peace, the conviction in your spirit, the closing of doors, the misalignment, the emotional exhaustion, those were signs. But because you didn't like the instruction attached to the sign, you kept entertaining the very thing God ended. Stop praying for new revelation while reopening old wounds. Stop praying for elevation while returning to old patterns. Stop praying for vision while entertaining people who darken your clarity. Stop asking God for next while refusing to let go of before. This morning, your future is being confronted. Your destiny is being awakened, Your spirit is being stirred. There is too much in you to stay attached to what God already ended. There is too much purpose in you to be drained by people who cannot value your growth. There is too much anointing on your life to be stuck in cycles God destroyed. There is too much calling in you to be distracted by things that are beneath your identity. You cannot carry old weight into a new season. You cannot walk through new doors with old wounds. You cannot enter your future clinging to expired seasons. Have you noticed that every time you entertain what God ended, your peace is disrupted? The conversation feels off. The environment feels heavy. The atmosphere feels wrong. That discomfort is not random, it is divine. God disrupts your peace to reveal what does not belong. He is saying, stop returning to what I rescued you from. Stop tying yourself to what I untied you from. Stop rebuilding what I broke down. Some of you are holding on to things out of fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear of uncertainty. Fear of the unknown. But fear is not a reason to stay where God is calling you out. Fear is not a reason to keep old attachments. Fear is not a reason to betray your calling. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the refusal to let fear become your master. It takes courage to stop entertaining what God ended. It takes courage to walk away from what is familiar. It takes courage to cut ties with what feels comfortable. It takes courage to choose healing over history. It takes courage to choose future over familiarity. But you will never reach where God has taken you if you remain loyal to what He delivered you from. Let me speak truth to you. Some endings are answers to prayers you forgot you prayed. You asked God for growth, so He removed the things that stunted you. You asked God for peace, so He removed the things that drained you. You asked God for clarity, so He removed the things that confused you. You asked God for purpose, so He removed distractions. You asked God for strength, so He removed weakness. You asked God for better, so He ended barely enough. And now you're grieving what God removed, even though it was the roadblock to the blessing you've been asking for. Stop entertaining what He ended. You cannot grow in a place God is no longer blessing. You cannot flourish in a season God has closed. You cannot thrive in an atmosphere He has left. And you cannot expect His favor while maintaining connections that contradict His instruction. Some of you are loyal to things that are killing you. Loyal to relationships that drain your spirit. Loyal to patterns that ruin your progress. Loyal to memories that distort your identity. Loyal to mindsets that keep you small. But loyalty is not righteousness. Loyalty is not obedience. Loyalty is not purpose. Be loyal to your calling, not your comfort. Be loyal to your future, not your fears. Be loyal to your identity, not your insecurity. Be loyal to your assignment, not your attachments. This morning, I want you to confront what you've been entertaining, confront the conversations, confront the habits, confront the cravings, confront the memories, confront the emotions, confront the distractions, confront the relationships. You cannot defeat what you refuse to confront. And once you confront it, you must release it. Release is not weakness, it is wisdom. Release is not abandonment, it is alignment. Release is not giving up, it is growing up. Release is not loss, it is liberation. Some of you are one decision away from stepping into a season of clarity, peace, direction, and supernatural acceleration. But that decision requires letting go completely, not partially, not emotionally, not temporarily, completely. You cannot close a door while leaving your foot in the frame. You cannot heal from what you keep revisiting. You cannot detach from what you keep feeding. You cannot move forward while looking backward. This is the moment for obedience. And obedience is not measured by desire, it is measured by discipline. You may feel emotional attachment, but your spirit must choose alignment. You may feel fear, but your soul must choose obedience. You may feel uncertain, but your future will reward your decision. Stop entertaining what God ended, because the next level of your life depends on what you refuse to revisit. Your peace depends on what you refuse to reopen. Your purpose depends on what you refuse to re-engage. Your spiritual authority depends on what you refuse to entertain. Your breakthrough depends on what you refuse to return to. And hear me, once you stop entertaining what God ended, clarity will come like light breaking through darkness. Peace will return. Strength will rise. Joy will be restored. Focus will sharpen. Vision will expand. Doors will open. Answers will come. Acceleration will begin. Your life will not move until you move. Your destiny will not shift until you shift. Your future will not unlock until you let go. And when you do, heaven will honor your obedience. Stop entertaining what God ended and watch what God begins.